welcome to the studio. Thanks for hanging out with me on Soul Control.
Thank you for having me.
It's so cool to see you on a massive stage doing these Coldplay shows. I saw you last night. It was gorgeous. Yeah, I was there. I was screaming for you, like doing the call and response. It must be really lovely to be able to like test out an album in this massive space, really interact with a ton of people in that big crowd. How does it feel for you?
It's amazing. It feels unreal. Every time I leave the stage, I'm just like, I can't believe I just did that. And everybody loved it. Like, you can just see like the audience falling in love as time goes. Like, it's so beautiful.
Yeah, it's definitely like a labor of love. Like, you give them something, you're a new person to a lot of these people, particularly a Coldplay audience.
Yes.
But you can see them like getting won over by the end of the set and like dancing a little bit. And I want to say congrats on this album, The Year I Turned 21. It is so beautiful to see you really prosper on this record.
You don't make me shy.
And I think there's just a lot on this record where I can hear that you've put a lot of yourself into these songs, which you've discussed as being one of the first times you've really done that and learnt to lean into it. The other record was observing, people watching, putting that into your album. But I want to find out how you sort of clocked that was something you were trying to steer clear from, and then you were like, I need to work through this. Like, this is a good creative thing for me to push through.
You know, I was doing it already, like making the album. Indirectly, I kind of was like making an album. I didn't know. I was just putting myself into it. I remember like we're supposed to pick songs for the album like 3 days before, and I was on my bed. I was like, it doesn't feel complete. I need to, if I'm going all the way, all in, like telling my story, I should tell the full story. I was like, okay, I want to make a song about like grief and like losing my dad, and I feel like that would complete it. That's a topic I never, like usually I'm a hard girl. Like I like being like, guys, I'm not gonna cry. Like I'm that person. If everybody's crying, I'm like, you guys need to grow up and stop crying. But this one, I was like, you know what? Let me just be vulnerable and let me just give my all. And I'm so happy like it came out well, because I didn't even understand how many people, Nigerians, Africans, and just people in general around the world could relate so much to that specific record and so many records on the album. You know, I was so shy and I was so scared of doing all of that, but I'm so happy like it came out well.
Yeah, it's definitely a very personal record, and I think we'll come back to that song you were referencing particularly a little later on. I feel like we'll talk about the other things first.
Okay.
But I want to talk about 21. I found that to be such a beautiful story of being seen, being loved, being cared for, and being like, oh my gosh, she's amazing. Can you tell us a bit more about that story?
So 21, my friend sent me like the first demo of 21, and I was just like, so I told Mesu, I was like, Mesu, I don't know how to write music about myself, because like I'm used to making music about other people. I don't like to look into myself, and I don't like to like make music about myself or my story. And he was with me for like a month in LA. We were in the studio and we were making other music. And on my birthday, he sent me the first demo as a birthday gift, my 21st birthday last year. And I was like, here's the demo. Listen to it, let me know what you think. And it was actually like my whole life, like everything I told him, all the conversations we've had, he put it into this song. And I just started to cry. I was like, okay. I started to see myself the way like people saw me, in a way, like just made me feel very seen. And I recorded the song, I, moved some things, and 21 is so personal to me, and I feel like it's such a timeless record that is going to be timeless forever, like forever. So,
yeah. And you've always been an artist who's wanted to be like a young artist. So it's such a pivotal time being 21.
Yes.
And like shifting out of that and being like, okay, I've hit that goal. Where do I go next?
Literally.
Yeah.
All the time.
It's so exciting to see you grow through this record and really find that you lean into your femininity as well, like relationships, sort of manifesting what you want from the future as well. There's a real bad girl energy in that, where it's like, I'm not putting up with anything that's subpar.
Nothing at all.
Yeah.
Yes. I feel like I've always been like that. Even like from the first album, it was 19 and Dangerous. So it was very, like, bad girl, let's go. So I feel like with the year 2021 is a more like evolved version of that, and is less like, it's more like confident girl, and is confident because of myself, not because of the way the world sees me or the way my mother sees me or the way my family sees me, because of when I look in the mirror, how I see myself and how I want to see myself. So yeah.
Yeah, it's really fun to listen to.
Thank you.
Last heartbreak song, Giveon. Oh my goodness. The energy on that track, it's always in my head. Like when I go to sleep, it's like a little lullaby, but it's also very heartbreaking. Tell me how that came together, how you work with someone who is, you've seen the video of him drinking the wine, singing to the girls. Like he's got that energy. I feel like you guys match in that regard.
He's an amazing artist, and there's nobody else I'll have heard on that song but him. Like Heartbreak Anniversary was my tune. I used to listen to the song with my sister. My sister was like maybe like 16 when that song dropped, and she'd be listening to it. I'm like, who broke your heart? Like, why are you listening to this song every like why are you listening to this song like this? And she made me fall in love with him as an artist. I made Last Heartbreak song when I made my first album, but it didn't fit into my first album, so my team was like, keep it. It will fit into the next one probably. And when I was making the next one, we're like, okay, who do we hear on this song? I really want a male perspective. Then we sent it to Giveon. I remember listening to Giveon's verse. I remember on my way to the airport in the car in Lagos, and I started crying. I just started crying. It just broke my heart. I was like,
that deep tone of his voice.
It was so amazing. I had to go re-record my verse because like he took control of the song. I was so annoyed.
Had to level up after that.
What? It's my song.
Let's go back to that track that you're referencing and sort of the general premise of the record. Because, when I was listening, The Kids Are All Right, like, literally broke my heart. Like, I have had little tears sort of welling up because my mum is from Sierra Leone. So there was just such a, like, parallel with the experience of, you know, grandparents passed away, people watching from somewhere else. And it was so beautiful the way that you'd written this and put little voice memos in. And I just wanted to sort of suss like how you thought that was an okay thing to put into the record. It seems like that was a really touchy point for you. And you've come round to it differently now, but yeah, at the moment, very vulnerable.
Very vulnerable. My family is the most amazing. I could never, I'm so blessed for the type of family I have. I sent to the group chat, I was like, everybody send me a voice note right now giving daddy an update on your life, and everybody sent it immediately. They didn't even ask questions. It was so fun to them. They're like, okay, like there were funny parts. Like my brother was sending 2 minutes voice, and I was like, it's too much. Like just send me like a 10-second one. But everybody was just giving updates, and it was so beautiful when it made me laugh even when I was making because I remember crying when I was recording the song, but listening to the voice notes made me feel like, okay, I had a team. I had a family with me that was experiencing this exact same thing. It felt so perfect. I was like, okay, I'm making a song that will forever, I will be so grateful to myself for making it, because if I didn't do it then, I'm not sure I would have been able to do it ever. So
yeah, it's a really beautiful song that's obviously for you on the record, but even all of the stuff that I was reading online, like fans of yours just being like, oh my gosh, that song's my favorite, just being able to have that cathartic experience through the record. And moving into this next era, we've gone from 19 and Dangerous, where it's like you're looking around, bad girl energy. You've come into like your lover girl era on this album, and you're really leaning into putting more of yourself into the record. What do you imagine for yourself for the next era?
The next era, I'm just going to go with the vibes. You know, that's what I've always gone with. I'm very intentional about a lot of stuff, but at the same time, I allow life to life, if I'm making sense. Allow God to lead me, and just wherever that takes me, that's where I'll be, and that's that's type of music I'll make. Right now I'm making a lot. I'm already making music, and I'm making a lot of songs I want to dance to, songs that make me feel powerful, songs that make me feel sexy. Yes, sir.
Well, with the sounds and things like that, I think that was something that I love so much on this record. I was like, oh, you can feel the coastal energy, you can feel the beach, you can feel scantily clad little outfits as you're having fun and dancing around. So I can definitely imagine that next era for you. And we have to talk about the discourse online, the chat online about Chris Martin and his African roots. Have you seen any of that behind the scenes?
I haven't seen that.
When I was at the show, I was like, wait a damn minute, this is like a church service.
Yeah, this is a song. Literally, if you think about it, I'm like, wait, that makes so much sense.
Yeah. Have you seen more of that behind the scenes? Is there much more of that chat going on?
When I first found out he was from Zimbabwe, I was like, you're Zim. I was like, what? But you hear it through the music, and just even the way he carries himself, you do see it. It makes sense at the end of the day. You're like, oh wow, oh, that's where that is from.
Yeah.
Oh, that's where, and he can dance. He can. I'm like,
What are you listening to? Like, what have you showed him from Nigeria? Have you like put some songs on the playlist to hang out together?
You know what? I don't even have to show him anything because he knows.
I wondered.
He has great music taste. I mean, he loves my music.
Yeah,
so like,
of course.
I trust him already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for hanging out. Do you have some plans to come back to Australia?
Definitely. And when I come back, I'm gonna be prepared for the time difference this time.
Was
I'm
that
gonna
a bit
be
of a shock
prepared,
for you
and I'm
this
gonna bring
time?
more jackets for Melbourne because
I saw
you guys
you
lied
last
to
night.
me. Everybody lied to me. Everybody's fake. You're like, I was expecting sunny. I brought all my summer clothes,
babes, I'm
belly
sorry.
out.
That outfit
been
last
so cold.
night, I was like,
cold.
oh no.
I was like, I'm just gonna dance. I'm just gonna dance.
Equatorial to climate to this, like breeze off the Antarctic. It's not a vibe.
No, it's so cold.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Next time it'll be warmer.
I'll be prepared. I'll be
Manifest
very
it for you.
prepared.
Yeah. Thank you so much for
Thank
coming
you so
through,
much for
Ayra
having
Starr.
me.